Day three, so still got a lot of ripping and cross-cutting to do. Getting the miter saw involved here today. So you can see the pieces stacking up there and checking on the plans and going through my fall off there, making sure I'm getting the most efficient use and using all of the tools, the appropriate tools for the job to make it go as smoothly and accurately as possible. Using Fast Cap's best fence has been a pleasure. Not having the total station, which is my next project once I get all the videos caught up. Here I pulled out the Craig Foreman pocket hole machine early because I needed to build one of the jigs. This jig here is for the doing the drawer sides, the dados, and here I'm showing you that how these guides work. So that measures 5/8, and the drill bit for it measures 1/2 of an inch. So we've got an 1/8 of an inch difference, or 1/16 per side, and it's the appropriate guide for that particular bit. So they make a set of these, and they're fairly inexpensive, and they work much better than pattern bits with the bearings. They're less expensive. You can use a good quality, spiral bit, solid carbide, and get a better cut, and also not cut up your jig. You have to be real careful with pattern bits. And so I'm just kind of assembling this jig, which I'm going to hang on to. It's good for all of my cabinet sides, the taller ones as well as narrower ones. So I made it to work with the tallest and the widest, and I just clamp it properly. Here I'm doing a kind of a test layout to make sure I got it right. I started by clamping. I took a spacer that was the appropriate spacing, and then clamped to the first piece. But as I moved on, I realized that was just going to take too long, and so I abandoned the clamps after the first one and just went by, holding them by hand. I felt that I could put enough pressure there to, get a good, accurate fit. So I just kind of marched my way down and screwed them off. The jig didn't turn out perfect, but it was wide enough that once I realized I built it a little bit out of square, I was able to actually put the material in properly and get good cuts with it. So it wasn't worth taking it apart. I should have squared it rather than just going parallel. So after I got it all built, it was time, milling, making parts now. I'm not doing assembly. I'm just making, cutting, ripping, and cross-cutting, and also milling my parts. Later on in a future video, you'll see what I'm doing a lot more milling with the pocket hole machine. I set it up with the glum press and with the miter saw all on one of the Paulk compact benches, and was able to just have a whole milling setup, and that'll be interesting to show you in a future video. But the way I do this is I make a cut up one side and back down the other, and then I pass once or twice more to clean up, vacuum up a little bit there, and so it went pretty quick. Here I'm doing it again. So basically I just put the piece down and a couple of screws the piece into the jig, and that locks it into where I want it. And then I clamp the jig down using the clamping holes. The table is covered with these clamping holes, so it makes it pretty easy to clamp wherever necessary. Of course, the way it was set up, I didn't have enough space to clamp and leave it, so you'll see in a second here I'll move the clamp out of the way of the router. So each time I had to start with the clamp in one position and then move it to another. But not a big deal. I could have designed the jig with a little wider side on it, to one side or the other, to clamp and not have to move it. But again, you see I'm making a pass up and back and pushing on one side and then on the other to get my final cut, and then a couple of quick passes just to clean everything up. So that went pretty quick. Like how that jig works. I'm going to hang on to it and use it for any kind of, if I've got cabinets in the shop. So hopefully you like these videos. Please subscribe, like, and share, and also check out my Amazon store. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.